In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I roll pasta with an electric Imperia pasta roller. This is a great way to roll pasta if you're working in a restaurant making small to medium-sized batches of pasta. It is a lot faster than rolling by hand with a mattarello, although can result in a slightly more dense pasta because the pressure of the metal rollers in the machine is greater than rolling by hand with the mattarello. But honestly, the difference isn't very noticeable. And with the right dough and technique, you can still create a beautiful pasta with great surface texture on the outside, allowing the sauce to adhere to the pasta and also have a great chew in the pasta. This is a very straightforward technique. You want to be making sure that you're adjusting the settings slightly after each time the dough passes through the rollers. You don't want to force the pasta through the rollers as it can tear the dough and can also do some harm to the machine. I like to add flour as I roll and stretch the dough slightly as it passes through the machine. This helps create that rough texture on the outside that we're looking for. And this texture allows the sauce to adhere to the pasta a bit more while cooking the pasta with the sauce in the end. Let's get started. Here I have the electric Imperia pasta roller. First I dust the dough with flour. And begin flattening the dough with a small rolling pin. Simply roll and rotate to get the dough to the thickness of the thickest setting on the Imperia. Before rolling, make sure to dust the surface of the dough with flour. Start with the thickest setting and run the dough through the machine. I do my best to keep the rectangular shape throughout this process by stretching the edges of the dough. Dust with flour, flip, and flour again. This flour will help achieve the rough texture that we want on the surface of the dough. On to the next setting, run it through. Next setting. Stretch those edges to maintain that rectangular shape, and from the stretching you will see the surface begin to form micro cracks, which is what creates the rough texture that we are looking for. Next setting. Dust with flour, flip, and flour again. Next setting, be sure to move the dial to the next number setting. You don't want to be rushing and forcing the dough through a setting that is too thin. Take your time and adjust the settings gradually. Dust with flour, flip, and dust again. Next setting. Dust. Next setting. You can check the thickness of your pasta sheet by stacking up post-it notes besides the sheet and running your fingers back and forth. For example, tagliatelle I use 9 post-it notes, so I stack up 9 here and check the thickness. Alternatively, you can measure in millimeters with a ruler, although one day you will be able to gauge by feel, but this is a great way to start. For exact measurements on each shape, you can check out the ebook and our other videos on cutting shapes. At this point, I'm at the thickness that I want, so I'll cut sheets that are about 18 inches long and prepare them to dry on the surface of the table. You can see here that the dough is still very moist by the way that it moves. It's very soft and doesn't hold its shape very well. I like to set a fan beside the sheets on a low setting to dry the surface of the sheets. After one side has dried, flip them over and let dry on the other side. You can see the sheet is a lot firmer, but still pliable. And you can hear the difference when rubbing the surface. It feels dry and almost like fine leather. Check out the pliability again. If you dry it longer, it won't be pliable and will just crack when you fold it over. At this point, the sheets are ready to be stacked without any flour and cut into your desired shape. Check out that surface texture, like fine leather. This will help the sauce adhere to the pasta in the final dish. Again, you could hear how dry it is. This is perfect, and these are ready to be cut. And there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, definitely write them down below, and I'd love to see your progress in the pasta community page.